the recently concluded APC National Convention, and after due consultations with stakeholders, particularly from the Southeast, we decided to share with you and share with party faithfuls, and indeed all progressive Nigerians, the ugly experiences at and exceptions to what will have been a well-organized national convention of our great party, APC. You may recall that distinguished Senator Osita, SY National Organizing Secretary of APC, was an aspirant for re-election at the just concluded national convention. You may also recall that for many months preceding the convention, the governor of Imo State, His Excellency Okorocha, Okorocha, never hid his objection to Senator Osita's re-election for personal reasons. He openly canvassed his determination to ensure that Senator Osita was not returned, because, as he has openly admitted, the senator had consistently failed to do his bidding in performing his duties as the SY Organizing Secretary, in ensuring that he, Governor Okorocha, hoisted his son-in-law as the governorship candidate of APC in the 2019 election. Consequently, Governor Okorocha has openly deployed himself and humongous resources of Imo State to ensure that this will be realized. Fully aware of this, we as law-abiding, disciplined, and committed members of the party, but believing in the sanctity of the typical electoral tradition of a truly progressive APC, had hinged our confidence on a transparent process. But the outcome of the process with regard to the office of the National Organizing Secretary shamefully betrays a conspiracy between Governors Badaru, the convention chairman, and Okorocha of Imo State. We opine that Governor Badaru was compromised by his brother governor, Okorocha, as can be clearly demonstrated in the following presentations. As you may be aware, Governor Badaru, the convention chairman, announced Barrister Imai Ibediro winner of the National Organizing Secretary contest with a total of 1,749 votes, while allotting to Senator Osita a total of 1,459 votes only. By these figures, the difference, therefore, between these two aspirants is just 290 votes. And I would like you to take very serious note of this figure. By the result announced by Governor Badaru, 1,749 votes to Imai Ibediro, the assumed alleged winner, and 1,459 votes to Osita Isnaso. The critical difference between the two by these figures is just 290 votes. However, it is very important that we draw your critical attention to the ugly fact that these announced figures were collated from only 31 states and the FCT, Abuja, as against the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the FCT, Abuja, that were duly accredited and present for the convention. The following states and their votes were willfully excluded from the announced collated results as follows. 1. Akwa Ibom, accredited delegates 217. Anambra, accredited delegates 161. Abia, accredited delegates 152. Adamawa, the home state of the chairman of the convention, accredited delegates 208 votes, 208 delegates. Imo, forgive me. Adamawa, 208 votes. And Jigawa, 282 votes. Apparently, I don't have that correct figure added here. Imo State, 226 votes. 226 delegates. If you add this figure, you'll be getting a sum of about 1,264. 1,264 votes. Oh, sorry, delegates. For Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Abia, and Adamawa states, the ballot box containing votes for National Organizing Secretary, after due conclusions of the casting of votes, were brazenly destroyed in the full glare of the press, security men, returning officers, and delegates by thugs and security men who accompanied the governor of Imo State to the affected pavilion. In the case of Imo State, Governor Badaru unequivocally demonstrated his bias, compromise, and prejudice against the candidacy of Senator Osita Nassau and his unhidden support for the sponsored candidate of his brother governor, Rochas Okorocha. Imo State 226 duly accredited and seated delegates were willfully and skillfully excluded from voting by the convention chairman, Governor Badaru. May I emphasize that this is Senator Osita Nassau's home catchment state. The Imo State delegates were duly screened at the old parade ground by Mrs. Ireti Kinkime, along with many other states, as duly and officially announced by the convention committee much earlier before the convention date. After our screening and in accordance with the convention guidelines, the Imo delegates were accordingly transported with designated buses to the convention venue and thereafter escorted to the Imo pavilion. It is therefore to the shock of the Imo delegates and the Southeast in general that Governor Badaru, after so much prevarications, announced that himself, Rochas Okorocha, and the endorsed Southeast aspirant, Senator Osita Nassau, had reached a consensus that for peace to reign, the Imo delegates would not be voting. We quickly contacted Senator Nassau, who was of course very busy within the arena. He vehemently denied ever having a discussion with Governor Badaru, talk more of reaching a consensus that would deny his own obvious supporter state delegates from voting for him. All efforts to make Governor Badaru resign the announcement proved abortive, as he cleverly and artfully evaded all efforts to engage him in any further conversation to expose his lies. Once again, for the records, at no point did Senator Nassau or any of his agents have such an agreement, whether oral or written, to disenfranchise Imo accredited delegates. Never, he never did that, and he maintains that. There is therefore no doubt why Governors Badaru and Okorocha targeted these states for exclusion from collected votes before announcing the results. Certainly there are no doubts. You can even figure it out. For instance, Anambra, Imo, and Abia states are part of the Southeast zone that endorsed Senator Osita Nassau unequivocally at various fora, and were seen to have accordingly voted for him overwhelmingly. In the case of Akwa Ibom State and Adamawa State, exit polls indicated also that they voted overwhelmingly for Senator Nassau. In the case of Jigawa State, 282 delegates, very well accredited. There were no ballot papers, no ballot box for the office of the National Organizing Committee. Organizing secretary. In the case of Jigawa State, where 282 delegates were duly accredited and duly seated, willing and ready to cast their votes, there was no ballot box for the office of the National Organizing Committee.